All right, this is part 3 of why I believe the official story, generally speaking, even though I'm open to possibilities of there being more than meets the eye. And this, I think this is going to be the last video on the subject. I think I'm going to cover the rest of what I believe, generally speaking, needs to be covered. There's people who say when they uncovered the Discord conversations between Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs, his boyfriend, his lover, that they thought they didn't sound realistic. And the things that I was hearing were just like, oh well, he said he uses the word vehicle instead of car, and he calls him my love. He calls him Tyler calls Lance my love. Okay, why is somebody saying vehicle instead of car such a crazy thing? Why? It's not the typical word that you would use, but it's a word that's I mean it's a word that still can be used. It's not like a really crazy exotic word. I remember reading something about somebody say, like, on 9/11, which of course I doubt the official story of 9/11 here. I've got my bona fide, my conspiracy credentials are bona fide, all right? I don't believe the official story of 9/11 at all. And I remember something that somebody was saying about how one of the passengers wrote a text. First of all, at the time it was impossible to write texts from way high up in the air with 2001 technology that was that the general public had, and be able to reach people on the ground. But putting that aside, he uses the word air hostess, and I remember it being pointed out to me that nobody who's American uses the term air hostess to talk about a stewardess or a flight attendant. And I thought, yeah, that's true. That's a strange way to put it. That suggests that maybe this person is. I think the suggestion was that he was from Israel or from Europe or something. That he was not the American that he claimed to be. It's nothing definitive, but I found the air hostess thing much more strange than calling a car a vehicle. Like, come on. That's really not that unusual. That he would say my love, that he would call his lover my love. I mean, what you're saying, what I don't get why you're saying he wouldn't say that. If this is like, if what you're saying is that the like what the conspiracy theorists seem to be saying is that this is not a real conversation. This is just an exchange that was made up by a couple of Mossad agents or FBI agents or whatever, something that they threw together to try to establish the notion that these two were lovers, and so they had him say my love. Wouldn't they have had Lance say my love, say something affectionate back? After Tyler says my love to Lance doesn't say anything back to him. He doesn't reciprocate this term of endearment. So I don't know. I just think all of the stuff with all of the like, well, this doesn't sound like how two 22-year-olds would be talking to each other. how do you know how 22-year-olds talk to each other? How do you know how all 22-year-olds talk to each other? 22-year-olds don't say vehicle. A 22-year-old who is in a romantic relationship with another guy wouldn't call the other guy my love. Why not? Why not? You know? I don't see anything that's implausible about the exchange. It sounds perfectly plausible to me. Okay. There's recently, and as far as them being lovers, I don't think that's even in question. I don't even like the I guess there are people out there going so far as to say, well, these two guys don't even exist, or if they exist, they're nothing like what they're, they've just assigned to them this role of being gay lovers, or being because they want to have it. They want us to think it's a tranny shooter, and that's a little inconvenient, because the guy who did the shooting isn't even the tranny. It's his boyfriend who is. There's nothing that I've heard about Tyler Robinson that suggests that he was flirting with that, or questioning, that whether he's in the right body or not, whether he'll transition. That's so. If the idea was to make, if you're thinking from the point of view of the FBI or the CIA or the Mossad, trying to set up something artificial, something that people would buy into, why not make him be just a full-throated, tranny? Why not make him be somebody who's just like why not make him be like the person who shot up the school in where was it, in Nashville, who just seemed to be a very committed transsexual, male to female, person. Why have the shooter be a normal seeming guy, normal looking guy, but just, if you're gonna do that, why do they not go whole hog with it? It seems kind of half-assed for them to do it that way. And if they're gonna make these exchanges look, if the idea is, oh well, they're just they just made up this exchange to make us think these things about these two guys. Well, again, I don't see a whole lot there. I don't see a whole lot there that's been exposed, and that goes also for, there's been more information that's recently released. There's a video from this YouTuber named Turkey Tom, and you can check out his video if you want. And he claims that he was contacted by somebody who was part of Tyler and Lance's sort of crew, that these guys who hung out together, and they played Magic the Gathering together at the condo where Lance and Tyler were cohabiting. And he has this whole story about Lance being, having this history of being not being mentally stable, and all this stuff. You can watch the video if you want. And I don't see anything, whereas the people who would watch that video and say, oh, well, this is just, look, they're just setting us up to think these things about these people. There's nothing really scandalous. There's nothing really incredible. There's no real aha moments that come from what gets revealed about Lance and Tyler in this in this person's this source's testimony about what they were like, what it was like to to know these two guys. And, it's not like, especially not about Tyler, we don't find out things about him. He's just sort of, we don't find out that much about him. He's just sort of quiet. He's doesn't have that much of an online presence. He likes to go fishing a lot. He's sort of introspective. If they were trying to set him up, wouldn't they have make it much more blatant? Wouldn't they have him saying things like, "God, I hate that Charlie Kirk guy. Somebody's gotta do something about him." But instead, these people are all shocked, including Lance, his lover. They're all shocked when he reveals to them that he did it, that he's the shooter. They don't want to believe it, and a lot of them, even Lance, who must not like Charlie Kirk either. I'm just guessing, given that he's transsexual, and Charlie Kirk does not believe that transsexuals are. I mean, is not pro LGBT. Even he was disturbed at hearing that Tyler had allegedly shot Charlie Kirk. So all this insider stuff that we have, if they were trying to make this, if the idea is, as the conspiracy theorists would have it, that they were just trying to make these guys look depraved, and I don't know, look like just try to make them look as tranny-ish as possible, to because the idea is to get right-wing people to turn against the LGBT crowd instead of turning against Israel, who were the ones who quote really did it. This is what the people with the conspiracy kind of mindset tend to think, that this was a Mossad hit. The Mossad took out Charlie because he was turning against Israel. I don't see a lot of evidence for that. Now, it's true that there's a lot that's been exposed. There was a lot that was already out there that didn't need to be exposed. That showed that Charlie was somewhat fed up with his Jewish donors and their attitudes, and how demanding they were, and how they wanted to, how they were, they were angry with him for having Tucker Carlson come and speak at the TPUSA events, and angry at him for having Dave Smith come and speak, and how they were trying to twist his arm, and he was just tired of it. And there were plenty of things that he was saying. Even he's a supporter of Israel, but he was saying things like questioning whether the 10/7 attacks were the result of Israeli forces being ordered to stand down so that the attack could occur, so that Netanyahu could have an advantage, so that he could exploit Hamas's attack on Israeli civilians for his own ends, and start this all-out war against Gaza that we've seen unfold horrifically over the last couple of years. Charlie was upset about a lot of things, and he and that has been exposed regarding Israel, and that has been exposed. All right, I'm not denying that. I'm not denying any of that. And I understand the idea that maybe the forces of Israel didn't or wanted to take him out, or thought that he was about to turn against them and wanted to take him out. it's not that Mossad would be above doing something like that necessarily. But you still have to have evidence for it, all right? You have to have something more than he's this bickering. And there's plenty of evidence of bickering and of, Charlie getting fed up with these donors and their demands. There's plenty of evidence of that. But the evidence of that is not is nowhere near. It's not even like to say it's not a smoking gun is understating it. There's no. I mean, people have scrutinized the scene. They've gone over. It's just like with the Zapruder film. People watch the Zapruder film of JFK, and they come to all kinds of different wild and crazy conclusions. There are people who've said that they thought the driver did it. The limo driver turned around and shot him with a gun. They say they see that in the Zapruder film. They also say that Jackie did it. That Jackie, when she leaned over, after JFK lurched over in his seat, that she was the one who delivered the final shot. There are people who say there was a video I saw not long ago that said that they thought JFK didn't even get shot, that it was all a hoax. So, and he got that from the Zapruder film. So, and of course you've probably, if you've looked into, if this whole event has interested you and you're taking the position that you doubt the official story, you've probably watched a ton of videos that like, oh, look, there's a man over here making mysterious signals, or there's this person, moving his hand, maybe he's concealing a gun, and but the shot came from in front. That has been confirmed even by Candace Owens. The shot did not come from behind. So that seems to have been confirmed. And all this other stuff that they're saying, that they're alleging, here's the real shooter in the crowd. All of that is just so, it's just, I mean, for all I know, it might be true, but it just looks like people coming to conclusions based on blurry pictures. It doesn't look like it has much more credibility than the notion that the limo driver shot JFK, or that Jackie shot JFK, or that JFK didn't even die, that it was all just a setup, and that he just went off. He went off to Valhalla, which of course there are those who say Charlie Kirk didn't die. I've yet to hear the people who say that give evidence for why they said that, for why they believe that. Like, what is it about? Is there something in the shooting that doesn't look real? I mean, I have not watched the shooting itself. So, from what I've heard, it looks pretty real. It looks like a man taking a bullet in the neck, and reacting the way that a man would if a bullet hit him in the neck. This is what I've been told. I'm not a gore hound. I don't like watching people die. So I've although I've seen the Zapruder film, so that's an exception. I've seen JFK. See, if the JFK headshot several times, but I did not want to. I think that we need to have some kind of respect for the dead and for their families, and I don't want to see Charlie Kirk's actual shot that took him out, and how he looked afterwards, and where the blood was coming from, etc., and so on. Okay, but my point is, if you want to make a case that there was tension between Charlie Kirk and his Israeli and some of his Israeli donors, I mean, you can make that case. I mean, it seems like there's ample evidence of that. It seems like there was evidence of that even before they revealed these texts that they revealed recently. There's ample evidence that Charlie was getting fed up with some of the Jewish donors and their demands with respect to Israel. But you have to see more than that for me to think, for me to finger Mossad here. Look, in 9/11, you had the company Odigo tell a bunch of their an Israeli company, tell a bunch of their clients, don't go to work at the World Trade Center on September 11th, and a bunch of them didn't go. That's suspicious. There were the 5 dancing Israelis who said they were there to document the event on Israeli TV. That's suspicious. Larry Silverstein, who went to the World Trade Center every day, didn't go that one day, that one morning. That was the one morning after he became the owner that he didn't meet with clients at the Windows of the World restaurant because he had a dermatology appointment. It just happened to be that day. Yeah, right. There's things like that about 9/11 that heavily suggest Israeli involvement, Mossad involvement. I'm not seeing anything. I haven't heard anything that heavily that not even heavily that even lightly suggests Mossad involvement, and with Charlie Kirk. And I've seen plenty of evidence that ordinary citizens who are left leaning and who don't like conservative Christians, that they felt murderously towards Charlie Kirk, and I don't see it as that implausible for the reasons I've already stated. That one of them took him out on September 10th. So there you go. Those are my thoughts. So if you want to rip me a new one in the comments, go ahead. If you want to challenge anything I've said, go ahead. I'm open to challenges. I'm open to whatever. I'm also open to agreement. If you want to agree with me, please feel free to agree. Or feel free not to comment, because that's usually what happens. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Thanks. So those of you who watched all of these videos, thank you for watching them, whatever your opinions are. And that's it.